My name is River, and over the past few years, I've been feeling a deep, primal beckoning into a slower life, rooted in a desire to live more harmoniously with nature's rhythms. I invite you to join me as I expand my curiosity and embark on adventures to commune with beautiful planet Earth, partaking in all of her mystery and abundance.
Well, friends, I am back at the creek to do some laundry and to bathe, and I learned something new from my full moon herb walk with Lanny Copper on Sunday, and it ties directly into Eve's questions. So Eve asked about soap and using natural soap, and I learned on the herb walk that this plant right here, which is called mountain lilac, that is the common name. It is not actually lilac. I think it's called, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, ceanothus. This will suds up into a soap. So I'm gonna wash my clothes directly in the creek today using ceanothus. And I will also bathe with it today, which is so exciting because I don't have to go through the extra step of carrying a bucket of water up a hill and 200 feet away from the creek. It's so exciting. I'm in such a great mood today because I started bleeding on Sunday on full moon, which is incredible. I love it when my cycle syncs up with the moon. I have more I want to share about my cycle in another video, but I basically return my menstrual blood to the earth as an offering. I am going to do some free bleeding today into the creek, which always just thrills my heart to be able to do that, to share a piece of myself that came from planet Earth, to return it back to the earth. And it is one of the most precious parts of me. It's the part of me that can create life. It is a life-giving ingredient. And I am giving it back to the earth along with the essence of my prayers and my energy and all of the intention that I put into the way that I live my life. But let's get back to the plants. In order not to lose it all in the river, I'm gonna put the leaves into a sock and see if I can lather it up that way and use it as a soap that way. That way I can just like rub it onto my body without everything disintegrating. We'll see if that works. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I can also just scrub it all over my body and keep putting more into the sock without continually losing it. I'm in a great mood today. Usually when my cycle starts, I get this wind in me. I get this energy, this excitement, this joy as soon as I start bleeding. Whereas the 10 days before I start bleeding, I am struggling physically, mentally, emotionally. I get to some really heavy, difficult places sometimes. I am so happy I got that on camera. That was a little butterfly, just landed for a very brief moment on the ceanothus. But as I was saying, wow, that was so cool. As I was saying, I am just filled with this like joy and vibrancy and like renewed energy every single time I start bleeding. So I'm just happy to be alive, happy to be here, and thrilled to be sharing some things with you today. So I'm gonna get all of my chores done, right? I get to bathe in a creek, which is such a privilege and such a joy. And this is like fresh mountain water trickling down from the mountaintops. And I get to use earth soap to do it. And I get to wash my clothes in the creek. And just to report back from the last time I washed my clothes in the creek, they smelled amazing. I just air dried them at home and hung them up to dry, and they smelled fresher than when I do them at the laundromat. My chonies, my undies, they smelled so fresh. I'm just so happy to be here today. Anyway, I'm gonna get on with it. I love you guys. I'm so grateful you're here with me. And yeah, oh, this smells so good. Oh my goodness. You guys, what a life. This is incredible. All right, here we go. So I just met the most beautiful soul. Her name is Brittany. She ended up stopping at the same spot that I'm at because a bluebird swooped down in front of her car as she was passing this spot. And as she came down, we just started talking and you know, she got naked and we were just talking and hanging out, and we had the most beautiful connection, and we exchanged information, and we're gonna stay in touch. But that was precious and lovely, and I really look forward to connecting more with her. An absolute gem of a precious soul. So yeah, it's amazing that whenever I have followed the nudging of spirit, and whenever I have listened to my intuition, the most beautiful connections come about, and I always come across the most beautiful, lovely humans and situations. And yeah, so I feel so grateful to be here this morning. Washing my clothes went wonderfully, and I'm about to bathe now, and I'm really excited. I'm waiting for just a little bit more sunshine. It's coming slowly, but I think within the next 15 minutes I'll have some sunshine and it will feel a little bit more comfortable. But I'm so thankful to be here! Ah! That's so pretty. I just can't even stand how beautiful it is right now. Did any of you read the book Holes when you were in elementary school or whenever? Because there's a little mountain peak up there that has a little thumbs up sign. And I just feel like the universe is like, you're doing it. You got this. I'm going to show you guys how the mountain lilac works. When you wet it and agitate it, it turns into a suds. So I'm using a rock. I found that that's kind of the easiest way. And you see it's quite sudsy. And I learned this from Lenny Coffer on the Herb Walk. Alright, it is about time I head back down the mountain. I have to work today. I have a few things I need to do before I start working. And this was such a beautiful day. This was so perfect. And I'm so glad that you decided to click this video and watch it and spend time with me. I feel honored, and my heart is just feeling so much gratitude for this day and this moment and for an opportunity to be alive. It's crazy. It's crazy. Here is the mountain lilac out in the wild. So I am going to gratefully and respectfully harvest a little bit and bring it home with me. You can't process it and keep it. It only works fresh off the flower. So I'm going to be using a little bit of it today to wash a couple of other things around the house and just see how it behaves. So I am very grateful that it grows abundantly here. All right, friends, I am heading back home. I'm kind of cutting it close with my time frame, which is why I'm filming this video on the drive back. That was such a lovely morning. I started my day off by stopping at my favorite local coffee shop, Beacon Coffee in Ventura. If you know, you know. And I did some journaling and some writing, organizing my thoughts about my intentions behind doing this sustainability experiment. And after like 30 minutes, I'm like, I just want to be in nature, and Tuesday is a great day to go up to the river and to bathe and all that, because Friends Ranch, which is up in Ojai, is only open on Tuesdays and Fridays, like until noon. And I love getting their oranges and their fresh squeezed blood orange juice. And today is just like a perfect day for oranges. So I did my bathing and my laundry. I ran into, as I mentioned before, the most beautiful, precious spirit named Brittany, and we just, we sat and chatted. She was naked, and we just chatted and like had the best like soul connection. And I love those kinds of moments when you can just connect on a soul level with another human being. It was awesome. And then I did my bathing, and then I stopped at Friend's Ranch, and now I'm on my way back home. I have to wring out the excess water in my clothes and hang dry them. I've got to do some dishes, and I'm going to do some lunch, but I'm feeling so good today. I also got a full night's sleep. My cats actually let me sleep all night. It was incredible. I did a little bit of a bedtime routine with them last night, and I need to do that more because they get really antsy at nighttime. They get to sleep through half the day, so at nighttime they want to get up and start messing around with things, getting into trouble. So I was kind of cranky the last few days. Not cranky, just tired and overwhelmed and anxious because I didn't sleep very well because the cats kept me up. And I didn't want to complain about it in my other videos, but I can see it on my face. I'm exhausted, even though I'm trying really hard to be present and joyful. But the bedtime routine seemed to work. I basically just spent some time with them, and I brushed them and gave them some treats, and they know that night-night means it's bedtime or time to stay asleep, and they'll resist it, but they know what that means. We go night-night. And they both have their little special places that they sleep in the room. So yeah, waking up refreshed and having a full night's sleep, man, whew, I just have to tip my hat to parents of young ones that keep them up all night, because I can't function without sleep. I need my sleep. And the kitty cats definitely have given me room to grow in that area. But yeah, I'm kind of just chit-chatting now. I'll be home in the next 10 minutes. It's been a great day 3 to this sustainability experiment. You guys, I have so many more videos coming. So many more videos. I'm going to talk about my entire like hygiene situation, how I'm navigating that. I'm going to go into depth about our food and water situation, how we're managing our trash. I'm also going to talk about the things that I've already done in the last couple of years to decentralize my life from systems of destruction and exploitation. I've done quite a bit already, but the step of like food and hygiene and water and resources, like that's a huge, enormous step to take, because it's completely changing the way that you relate to the world and society, and people often treat you like you're crazy. When I first started taking major steps away from capitalism and society, at least in the aspects of it that I have found to be destructive and exploitative, people accuse me of being in psychosis. And there are many layers to that, but I'll have to get into that in upcoming videos. So I will end it here, you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. And remember, joy is a superpower. Gratitude is a superpower. Your thoughts affect your emotions affect your biochemistry, and your biochemistry affects your health. It is like magic. So set joy at the forefront of your desire. Make that an intention. Whatever brings about joy, seek that. Passion and joy will keep your heart ablaze and keep you alive and vibrant. And anything that gets in between you and joy, you already know what those things are. And you already feel defensive and shame and guilt over those things. And those things are not there to keep you down or to keep you depressed. It's there to point out that you're not living in alignment with your highest desires and your values. So it's up to each of us to spend time with ourselves. And, if you subscribe to Spirit, Creator, Source, a divine one, or just, your own sense of a moral compass, however you conceptualize your existence and however you relate to the planet. It's up to you to navigate what those values are, because if you rely on society to tell you what those values are, you will be lost and confused always. It is a very confusing way to live, relying upon societal narratives, because they are all false. Okay. I will end it there, guys. Love you so much, and I just am sending you so much love. And yeah, until next time, friends, I pray you stay well. Okay, bye.